Hi everyone, I've been out and about today and I've been listening to my audiobook and I've just finished it, so I thought I would quickly do a review because I've just been pulled over having a picnic in my car to myself because my life is that tragic. But I've just finished listening to Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race, and I have to say I was actually blown away by this book. I have always obviously considered myself non-racist, obviously. But until recently, I didn't realise that a lot of my knowledge of racism and race problems come from the US. And that's just, it's not really applicable to the UK because obviously things are done very differently in America to how they're done in the UK. And we have completely different systems and things like that. And I have to say, I went into this book with a bit of trepidation because I didn't know anything about it. Obviously, by the title, I guessed that it was going to be about racism. However, I was expecting it to be quite forceful. I was expecting it to be forcefully put, and I thought maybe at times it would be quite a difficult read. But sometimes books that are a little bit overly forceful can sometimes feel a bit aggressive to read, and generally that's not the type of media I like to consume. I like to be talked to, not talked at, if that makes sense. I really wanted to read because a few people that I follow on Twitter were really enjoying it, and so I downloaded it on Audible. And I really just can't stress enough that this really is a must read if you want to sort of educate yourself more into the history of Britain and into the history of sort of systemic racism. That, I mean, it's something that I didn't know a lot about. I just feel a bit embarrassed that I really didn't know any of this. I really didn't. I learned about the history of slavery in Britain, which, I mean, it was something that I didn't know very much about. Prior to reading this book and prior to reading I'm Not Your Baby Mother, I didn't really know anything about the UK's involvement in the slave trade. It's not something we're taught in school, at least not in my school or not in anybody's school of the people that I know. It's not something that we were taught in school. And I didn't just do history in school. I studied it at a further educational level. And I specialised in it at one point for primary school teaching. And at no point during any of that did I read anything about slavery. And I'm not saying that I didn't have a clue that slavery existed. I knew slavery had existed. However, I thought that it was something that had happened primarily in America. I didn't realise that it was such an issue in the UK too, and that blew my mind. I don't want to say too much about what was in this book because I don't want to sort of give you the facts without you reading the book, because you should buy the book and you should read it. And I absolutely love the way that the author wrote this. She really puts forward all of these ideas in a way that you just can't fail to understand. She talks about how at one point she thought that she would turn white as she got older. She talks about how she felt when she realised that that wasn't going to happen. She talks about being a black woman, embracing feminism, and there's loads of things that I was just totally oblivious to. That's all I'm going to say on the matter, because I really obviously don't want to tell you what happens in the book. I want you to read it. So if you have read it, let me know. If you're going to read it, let me know, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.